Hello, good evening, and welcome to Clevernet TV in Diaspora. I am Olala Oladuko, and this is Unfiltered Conversation. Remember, the Clevernet TV is an online television platform created to bring diasporas back home and in Africa together. Oh, Africans in the diaspora and back home rather together celebrate their achievements. Today on the show, I have a very powerful woman, Dr. Neva Alexander, who is the CEO of Neva Alliance, a professional development training company in the United States. Welcome to Unfiltered
Thanks
Conversation.
for having me. Such a pleasure.
Awesome. Today on the show, we'll be discussing the topic the role of women in advancing connectivity. The role of women in advancing connectivity. But before we begin, we'd like to go on a quick break. We'll be right back.
Hello there. Looking for an African movie? Search no further. Clevenard African Movies TV is here for you. We are dedicated to the acceleration of African films, TV series, documentaries, and lots more. Explore our movies at home or on the go. Clevenard Movies is free to watch on clevenard.com. Don't miss this opportunity. Hurry now. Sign up and subscribe today.
Welcome back. Please remember to sign up on www.clevenard.com. It's www.clevenard.com. So let's get right into the topic for today. Please, can you introduce yourself, Dr. Neva?
Yes, I am, as you know, the lovely lady stated. I am Dr. Neva Alexander. I live here in the United States. I own a company called Neva Alliance, and basically the company was created in 2013. Yeah, out of a passion and a vision to move learning knowledge forward. So it's a bit of training and consultancy that I do. Let's see what else. I'm actually, I guess, Afro-Caribbean American descent, so a blend there. Um, yeah, so your next question, please.
Yeah, so you can tell us more about your business. What is it about?
My business has many folds to it, from professional professional development training, which pretty much we offer like leadership training. We offer customer service training. We offer training to advance. You're also doing consultancy in a sense, helping different businesses to grow, whether being small, medium, or large. So that's what I do. But with consultancy, I've dabbled in different areas of it, from consulting with a university, maybe to recruit students or recruit teachers, or I wouldn't say for work because I don't really touch on that, but it's again dabble in different aspects. It's not our full focus, but our full focus is a training aspect, which I believe in knowledge and the development of individuals. Because it's one thing, yeah, you get the job and you are working, right? But what takes you to the next level is the knowledge and knowing how to manage people, knowing how to work with individuals, and not just individuals that are working, also work with individuals who are entrepreneur, who wants to grow their business, who needs the knowledge, because you may know your craft, but you may not necessarily know the business aspect of it, or you may know some things, but not everything, right? So that's what my company do.
Okay, that's amazing. Well, it is often said that when you empower a woman, you empower a community or you empower a nation. How true would you say this
I
is?
definitely believe in it, and hence the reason why I do what I do in reference to the International Women's Conference. And I know it's something you're going to mention, but and backstory. 2013 is when I start my business, but before that, I lived and worked in Saudi Arabia, and I was hired as a professor And then they promote me within like six months or so to the chair of the humanities department, social science and humanities department. But the chair was over the female section because, you know, they separate males from females, right? So within that realm, I really got to know the students, the girls, the ladies, right? Because they are, I mean, university students. And, but one of the things that I realized, some of them was just, okay, we are here, so what's next, right? And I felt within my realm, within what I do in my profession, in order for them to succeed, I had to motivate them, show them that there are female leaders. And I use that word loosely because one of the things I also learned, they thought, you know, when you talk about leaders, you're talking about someone that runs the country or stuff like that. But showing them that, you know, leaders could be your teachers, leaders could be your mom, leaders could be so many different aspects. And once you show them that, and once you motivate them, they wanted to do more. They wanted to say, you know, hey, it's not just, okay, I get a degree for someone to marry me. I got a degree, so maybe I can bring something to the table to my family, right? So, you know, in that aspect, just motivating and empowering individuals, and they seeing that the struggle is not just for them if they have a struggle, right? Because we can't assume everyone has a struggle, but when they see that, they're like, you know, there's hope. It's not just I'm here living, breathing, eating, but I'm here and I can do much more for myself, for my family, for my community, and for the world.
Yeah, that's good. I hear you. I heard you talk about motivating and empowering the ladies, right? So what would you say are some practical ways in which you can empower a girl child or empower a woman?
Part of empowering a girl, child, or woman is to show them individuals that have accomplished what they're trying to accomplish, or that they have a support system in place, right? Because to say, oh, you're motivated, you could do it, and then there's no one around them to really drive them, it takes that powerful mindset to really push forward, right? But when they see others that say, hey, we support you, go on, girl, you could do it, it's fine, you know, you may have a bad day, but it's not going to always be a bad day, right? So when they see the role models, and I believe in that, right? It's kind of like, you know, people say, well, put up a mirror of, you know, you want to lose weight or whatever, put up a mirror, put up something, a picture of someone you want to look like. You're not going to be them, but it motivates you, right? So that's what I mean by the motivation aspect, and how to motivate them. Just show them someone who is doing it. And if they don't have an example, just giving them the support. And support is so dynamic. And you can imagine the individuals that don't have support and those that do, and notice the difference. When people believe in you,
Right,
it's something else.
right. So having a vision, running with a vision, and then having the right support system around you as well, the right support
Right.
structure, or ways you can empower a
Yes.
woman. Okay, that's good. So, what would you say to a woman who is struggling to recognize her strength or her potential?
Oh, don't give up. uh, Recognizing her strength. Sometimes you need to sometimes go back and show someone what they themselves accomplished. And I'm speaking from experience and also what I've seen. Sometimes you're moving along and you're like, oh man, like I you know, I'm trying to do this, but it's not working. But hey, did you remember a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, you actually did this and you were successful, no matter how small it is, right? But you did it. So if you can get back that mindset, that strength to do it, you can, right? So it's just getting them. It's a lot has to do with a mindset. Your mind is powerful, right? So if you say to you know, in your mind, well, I can't, this is just not for me. Well, guess what? That's exactly what it will be. But if you say to yourself, you know, again, mind game, I can, I will achieve this. I'll be the next. You know, just empowerment. And also, it's not, mind is one thing, your body is another, right? So for me, sometimes if I'm struggling, I put whatever I'm doing down, sometimes to now work on me, you know, because our body talks to us.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, you know, work on me from the inside out. And sometimes that even helps with moving you forward and the struggle to get over that
Yeah.
railroad that's, you know, in your way.
Right. So that's good. I like the part where you said, show the woman what she has accomplished. That's a motivation for her to show her how far she's come so she
Listen, I
can't
know
give
you
up.
think, you know, you mentioned that. So if you think back, even on your own self, I mean, it's just, we all go through it unless you have a very big ego and you're super confident, which is great, which is nothing wrong with ego as long as it doesn't take you over, you know, and it's nothing wrong with confidence because we
Mhm.
need it, right, to move forward. But if you think about some of the things, you probably want to start a new project or there's something and you're just like, oh man, you know, but if you just take you yourself, think back and be like, wait a minute, I did this. I've, you know, I've done this before. I've done something similar. I've made an impact somewhere. And that keeps you going.
That's great. That's great. So, what would you say is the role of women in connectivity?
Okay, so, and I assume you mean connectivity, meaning connected, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, overall, in general, networking is extremely powerful. Networking, and I mean not just, hey, how you doing, and then that you walk away. Having a network is important, and connecting to individuals, following up with individuals can really put you on another level. I was speaking, share an example. I was speaking with a colleague the other day about some, you know, general stuff. And one of the things I realized that she does that works for her, because each one of us, we need to know our strengths and weakness and what will work and what won't. But with her, what I noticed in the community, she's always at somebody's event. Now, you have a full-time business. You're working. How do you have time? Personally, I'll be drained. That's me. So again, know your strengths and weakness, right? But because of her going out to these community events, if and she labels herself a philanthropist, and I probably think, oh, very, oh, wow. But it's like $30, $50 that she gives, and that sticks out in people's mind. And because of that, it connects individuals to her. They call on her for stuff. They remember her, not just necessarily for, oh, she gave $50 or she came to our event. They saw her at the event, right? So she's going to come. Let her know. She's going to tell her people, her tribe, they're going to come. And because of that, it keeps her connected, right? Her name is on the
Right.
lips of so many different individuals, right? And that works for her and her connection, for her connection to grow, which is the network. And once your network grows, you have more opportunities.
Right. What about people who can probably do what she does? What other ways do you think they can network and get
Well,
connected?
I thought about this the other day for my own self. And again, as I said, everyone have their strengths and weaknesses. For her, it's going out. For me, it's bringing people to me, right? So that
Mm-hmm.
works for me. Now, yeah, I'm sure you know introvert, extrovert. I'm on the border.
Yeah.
Every time I take the test, I am the dead border. And people are like, you do these events. How
Mm-hmm.
could you be an introvert? Yes. When I shut down from the world, I shut down, right? Sometimes I come from an event and I'm like, wait a minute, you need to connect. But for me, what works, bringing people to me through my events, connecting people. It's easy for me to pick up the phone or with individuals I know,
Mm-hmm.
not random, because some people are very great. They'll call everybody and they're just an extrovert like that, right? So for me, bringing people to me, being able to connect on that level and connecting in small groups, sporadic groups. So
Mm-hmm.
through an example, last year I did the conference, but I did it virtually. The International Women's Conference, I did it virtually. And the speakers did not, most of them, I can tell you 70% did not know each other before then. And now they're
Right.
connected. They're doing things within their network, promoting each other, getting each other opportunities, right? But I
Mm-hmm.
drove them in. So again, no, of course, connection is important. How you do it, you got to find what works for you, right? There's no, I find the blueprint where people say, well, do this. If you're doing it and you're uncomfortable, sooner or later, you're going to, either you adapt or drop out, but you got to find, what's comfortable for you as soon as possible, that it's not something that you're just like, oh, this is tiring and I just don't like it, right?
So finding what works for you. We're going to go on another break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the conference. Don't go anywhere.
Clevenard in Diaspora Television is an internet online TV service. What sets us apart is a unique combination of hit African content, first and exclusive international free movies, series, musics, news, events, documentaries, tourism, teleshopping shows, youth TV programs, and live interviews. Clevenard Diaspora Television is available throughout sub-Saharan Africa and to the diaspora markets worldwide. Take your entertainment with you wherever you go. Watch on your smartphone, tablet, laptop, smart TV, depending on your device. Watch free movies with Clevenard Movies Television. Stop searching for free movies websites and watch Clevenard Movies Television. Watch your favorite African shows anywhere at any time. Don't forget to check out our top 5 TV channels created to get you informed. TV1, Clevenard in Diaspora Television. TV2, Clevenard Youth Television. TV3, Clevenard Movies Television. TV4, Clevenard Teleshopping Television. TV5, Clevenard Tourism Television. To start watching, sign up at www.clevenard.com and follow the easy steps. Once you're done, log into the Clevenard website or app on your device, click on any one of our 5 TV channels, and hit play. We will be very satisfied and happy to welcome you to our team as one of our new business partners. Contact info@clevenard.com +34 631 279811. Website www.clevenard.com.
Welcome back to Unfiltered Conversation on Cleveland TV in Diaspora. I'm still in conversation with Dr. Neva Alexandra, and we're talking about the role of women in connectivity, the role of women in advancing connectivity. And just before we had a break, she was telling us the role of women in connectivity. So now I want to ask, why do you think it's important for women to be connected?
If you don't connect, you can't grow. No matter if you think you've arrived and you've made it, because to make that next 100,000 or next $1 million, you need to be connected. Someone needs to know you, right? Because I doubt you could keep going back to the same source over and over and over and over again. Sooner or later, they're going to run out of money. So being connected, obviously, continuously will help you, no matter if you are a business owner or you're a career individual working your job. I mean, if you want a promotion, yes, it's nice that your superior, they know you, but they also, I trust when I say they want you to be able to be connected. It's, you need to kind of know them like they want to know you. They want to know why they should promote you. In order for them to do that, you need to be around them, right? So that connection works, right? So again, without connections, you can't grow, you can't develop. You're just going to remain stagnant. That's why you need it.
Wow. If you don't connect, you can't grow because we need to keep advancing and keep getting better at what we do.
Yes, I'm sure it works for you too, right? Like, right? And you never know. I just want to say, you never know where you're going to get that connection.
Absolutely.
Sometimes people, I notice some individuals, they have, I call bad habits. Like they focus on individuals that they feel can do something for them. And when that's okay, you also sometimes need to look at the others that you may think, maybe, you don't know. You don't know who's going to open that door. Years ago, I'm not going to say my age, but years ago, I went for a job interview as a safety manager in a nonprofit organization. And when I went in, there's someone, and she kind of swooped past me like she wanted to run in, and I held the door for her. And then she was like, "Thank you." I was like, "You're welcome." I said, "You're good?" She was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And I sat down, and only to realize she's coming off her shift. She's a receptionist, and she's trying to get back to her post. And I went in for the interview and everything, and I got the job. And 6 months later, I found out she had they asked her what they thought about me. And she was like, she seems nice, whatever. And because of that, she had her hands into the fact that I got that job. She said, I greeted her, I spoke to her, and I wasn't thinking anything of it. I just saw someone rush in, and versus saying, "Oh, I had an interview and whatever," I looked at that. So I use this to say that connection then and there, not me just looking beyond who was dressed a certain way or who carried themselves a certain way. Because all that stuff, my thing is like, you could dress to top to bottom. People can see sometimes the core of who you are, right? So I'm not focused on that, right? So don't just overlook and think someone who's at a certain level can't put you in the right place and give you the connection that's necessary.
Yeah, the importance of giving respect to everyone, no matter what level you think they are. I think it takes a level of intentionality and being open-minded to do that.
Yes, it does, definitely. So, and another aspect, you have me thinking. I remember someone said to me, well, don't ask a taxi driver. I was in Kenya, I was visiting, and it was like, don't ask a taxi driver about business. They wouldn't know. And I'm like, wait a minute. No, we can't think like that. Right? Because again, my thought process, now, number one, a taxi driver, who is he driving? We don't know. Not every time someone can be in their fancy car, right? Sometimes they just hop in a taxi and go, right? Who is he speaking to, right? And it was so funny because I was just talking. He took my number, and within maybe 3 days or so, he connected me to someone there.
Wow.
It means she was there. Like, they don't know anything. If you want to ask, you know, about certain things, business, you need to ask business individual, because a taxi driver, certain people with certain, on a certain level, they wouldn't know. Right.
Yeah, that's great. So let's move on and talk about the conference. What's the International Women's
Sure.
Conference 2023 all about?
So I started this conference in 2017, and it stemmed from when I left Saudi. I left Saudi and I wrote a book at that time called Female's Guide to Understanding Leadership. And now I actually, I mean, 2013, I came back to the States. I traveled, you know, all over the place. Now I'm back in New York, and I'm like, I want to do something that pulls women together. I know there are a lot of different women's event, but from me traveling, from me learning the world and different individuals, I want it to be the International Women's Conference,
Mhm.
right? And it started there. It started there, and the demand grow. It just grew and brought so many great individuals to me,
Mhm.
right? And even Dr. Sylvia, which will be on later, should be on later.
Mhm.
I met her in 2016 at her conference in Liverpool, where I flew in and I spoke at her conference, right?
Mhm.
Also talk about that, goes back to connection.
Yeah.
So, and then here we go full circle to
Mhm.
my event here in the States. So this event, basically, the thought process is empower, connect, grow. You know, that's thought power behind it. Just, and I love knowledge. So that always has to be a key component. It's not about, yeah, we partying, we having a good time. It's about, what did you walk away with? You're not necessarily going to get everything always new, like, oh, I didn't know that, but
Right.
something might be a refresher, like, oh, yeah, I remember that. Oh, let me try this, you know?
Mhm.
So, this conference is going to be on Saturday, the 11th of March. It's going to be at Hofstra University in the United States here. And we're going to have we have a great lineup. We have, the keynote speaker is the First Lady of Jamaica, Miss Juliet Holness. And we also have assembly member, one of our local assembly members, Salaj. She's also a speaker, of course, Dr. Sylvia. We have different individuals of business background there. We also have the university involved, so they have their speakers as well. And that's also comes back to connection, because they came to the first conference, connected with them, kept that connection, and now they're involved in it. Um, One of the popular questions I get, can men come? We love men that support us. So yes, if you're coming to support us, you're more than welcome. And we have different topics, different conversations, panels that we have. We have one on woman, money, and investment, which I believe is super important, our spending habits. And, because that's one of the things you will realize, unless, some women are lucky enough to know how to spend and know how to invest and something like that. But some of us, we're lacking. So let's talk about it, right? So we have a panel on that. And we have superstars in their own rights, individuals that made a name for themselves in real estate investments and financial investments. And I have a lady on the panel who's been in her business for 20 years doing trade shows. Like, she has, the equipments and stuff that put trade shows together all over the United States. We have another panel on overcoming adversity, right? So we saw not just the pandemic, but a few things people had to overcome during that time. So overcoming adversity, let's talk about it. And again, another dynamic panel with many different speakers with their own stories to tell. And then we have a panel on for the university students, right? Because we want to get them involved. It's not just about the grown ladies. What about the younger generation? So we have a panel on after university, what's next, right? Because you get that degree, and sometimes it's just like a paper. It's like, what are we gonna do with this paper? So what's next? You know, that's that question. What's next? So we have alumni who are going to talk about their experience, and also the university students as well. Beyond that, we have different motivational speakers there, and different individuals are going to talk about their, you know, their wellness journeys and stuff like that. So very impactful, knowledge filled, and yeah, we're going to be have a little entertainment and food and stuff like that. But again, a great connection piece, great networking, gathering, and one thing I didn't say, like we have individuals coming in from different parts of the states, outside the country as well, and different individuals from different backgrounds as well. So we do have a blend because me personally, I like diversity. So we have the different blends, because I believe, again, in order for us to grow, we can't just be in a little cage by ourselves.
Right. Okay. So, what are your expectations for the conference, and what should people be expecting from the conference as well?
And as I said before, they should be expecting, they're going to be entertained, but they're going to learn, they're going to have knowledge, they're going to connect. Now, it takes that person to not be an introvert that day to see who they can meet and talk to. So I'm going to be the total extrovert that day, you know, because again, it's my event. But,
Right.
and again, I say my event, but I just want to say it's not my event, because I have great partners this time that are really pushing things forward. Because if it wasn't for some of these partners, I would not be able to get some individuals to even pay attention to come out and speak, right, at this conference. But they will get their motivation, they'll get to the empowerment aspect, right? And I really believe, based on my experience from the other conference, they're going to want more, right? Because it's always, when are you going to do this again? What's next? Right?
Okay.
So that's what they'll walk away with.
All right. So, how can one attend the event? Is it paid for, or is it a free event?
It is not a free event and I say that because I realize, you know, this is so strange, because I realize some people, because I'm so used to everything being online, the information is there, right? Click. But the flyer just says go to the website. There's some people, because they don't see a price on the website,
Mm,
think maybe there is a price to attend. So yes, because we also is not, and we have, I mean, we have some sponsors, so the ticket price is not as high as, and some may think it's high, but there is a fee to get in. At this moment, it is 60 US to get in, and yeah, and it's from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
all right. So, what's your website that people can go to?
NEValliance.com. Neva Alliance.
Nevalliance.com.
Yes.
All right. So, if you want to know more about the conference, please go to nevalliance.com. It's nevalliance.com. Do you have any final words for us today?
Um, um, let's see, final words. You know, one of the things you asked is what we're gonna walk away, what they're gonna walk away with. And it ties back into something I've been thinking about. It's March, month of March is establishes Women's Month. And March 8th is International Women's Day. But after the month, where do we go from here? One of the biggest things I see that hold back, us, we talk about it, but we don't move forward with it, meaning we don't always collaborate. We don't always leverage our resources together. And it all stems from trust issues. We don't trust each other.
Mm-hmm.
We're in competition. And it is a lot to say, but sometimes we need to look within ourselves to say, in order for me to move forward, gotta trust something. And I have trust issues. It's like I'm at a meeting, say, I have trust issues. Now, how do I get over it? Right? So my thing is, I come across many dynamic females. And I say dynamic, they're doing their thing. They're movers and shakers.
Mm-hmm.
But because they don't collaborate or know how to leverage, they're just in the wind. Little crumbs is here and there. But if we pull all that together, we can be much more. So I'm speaking to you guys out there, but I'm also talking to myself at the same time, right? So having these events, because I know there are many in March dealing with women and stuff like that. How do we change the thought process of being competitive amongst ourselves and not really seeing how we can work with each other to make things grow? Because we look at the men, we always know the men have the money. What's making them different having the money than us? Sometimes it's not necessarily them that's holding us back, as we are holding our own self back with our thought process, right? So just, I'm saying my message is just to open up a little bit more to see how you can, as you said, your word connect, how we can network, and how you can trust someone to grow, right? That is my message.
Right. How it's important for us to work together to grow and
Yeah,
then change our thought pattern, because sometimes that's what holds us back.
definitely. Take a time and look into it.
Mm.
Even at I'm not just talking about at a big level or a business level. Look, if you have your job, right? Again, sometimes we're thinking, and it might be the case, oh, somebody, the man is there, they don't want women in leadership positions.
Mhm.
But look at our own selves. What are we doing wrong? What can we do differently that we are able to move up the ladder
Mhm.
and not be in that same position? Right? Sometimes, a lot of times you look at it as like, oh, I don't trust her. She's going to take my money. Look at her. She, stop doing that.
Well, yeah, it was great having you on the show. We had a beautiful conversation, and I'm sure I and my audience learned one or two things. I've actually learned quite a lot from you. But that's all
Thank
we have time for. Thanks for coming. Thanks for honoring our invitation to be here today.
You're most welcome. And thank you for having me. It's
Thank
such a
you.
pleasure.
Thank you. We wish you all the best with the conference.
Yes. And maybe next year, because I know not this year, but maybe next year we'll meet in person, right?
Person, that would be impressive.
All right. Okay, you take care.
Okay, thank you everyone for joining us today on Unfiltered Conversation. Remember that your moment is coming, so don't give up, keep pushing, and look for opportunities to network and grow your connectivity. I'll see you next time. I'm Lola Oladokun. Have a good evening.